Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Two Ewoks in the Park. JT's having some audio issues and some mic issues at the moment, and that's okay, because I'm here. He's here too, but I'm here too. I am the geek, or the nerd, Sully, and we're talking about the Acolyte episode 5. That's right. Rare I do the intro, because I like when JT does it. JT, you back with me? You back with me, JT? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Are you still muted?
No. I was mouthing the words like I was. So,
No, then how come you hit your button on your microphone?
You didn't see me do that.
Yes, I did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just didn't show it.
You didn't think nothing, man. You don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? It's rare we do this, but it needs to be done.
Now that we have recovered from the Sully effect.
Yep. It's there, folks.
See, we've got one for you. Now, we need to come up with a redneck one.
Oh, I have one.
We need to come up. No, I mean, we have the Sully effect.
Right.
For when you screw up. We use it for both of us right now. We need to come up with something for when I screw up.
Do.
There was a redneck brain fart. Woohoo! Something like that.
I like that one. There was a redneck brain fart. I like that one. Well,
you want me to do it again?
Well, I mean, you absolutely. You could talk about episode 5 of the Acolyte if you want. Yeah, please, by all means, go for it. Come on.
Well, yeah, that was a redneck brain fart. Woo-hoo!
Love it.
Alrighty.
Love it.
Let's rock and roll, man, because this episode 5, I will say this. One, screw you. And two, wow.
Yep.
There were things that happened in this episode that I thought would never happen.
Right.
I thought would never Didn't you say one time that they never, something like they never show somebody dying?
No.
In Star Wars, they're literally dying or something. There was something like that. And it's like, whoa, holy crap. Want to say hi to Will? Just joined us in the chat room. Our brother Jedi. Great to have you along, Will.
Yeah. Hi, Will. Good to see you, sir. How have you been? Hope you're doing well down in Florida.
But yeah, this was a crazy episode, man. I was both times, because I always watch it twice, as you well know.
Yep.
And both times I'm sitting there going,
You were shocked.
Literally just nothing coming out of my mouth, just jaw down, shocked look on my face, like, did they really just do that?
You were shocked. So, first and foremost,
mm-hmm. Go ahead and say it.
The reason that you're telling me screw you is I was right.
Once again, you were right.
Thank you.
Get tired of you being right, man.
I take a bow. Thank you.
I'll show you my ass.
I can write this stuff. I could. I very well could.
But up until the point where they actually reveal, and I'm not going to give it away, where they actually revealed the identity.
Yep.
There was still a good possibility that I was right. It was still, the possibility was still there.
Yeah, but
it was still there, but it disappeared very, very quickly at one point in the episode.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got to say what I thought what my theory was, but I was thinking that maybe it was one of the two mothers.
Yep.
Who didn't actually die in the slaughter of the coven.
But clearly they did.
Which,
clearly
it was a possibility because,
Now, as we all know, there's a lot of controversy going on about the Acolyte.
Oh, God.
We as Star Wars fans are divided. There are true fans who are like
and bandwagon.
Yeah. And then bandwagon, and then there's the toxic fans. Now, with that being said, that we're divided in multiple ways.
Not us, not me and you.
No, not JT and I.
Fans of Star Wars.
We, as fans of Star Wars, are like, yay, Star Wars! It's another
Right.
Star Wars show. For the record,
Yep.
and I just want to put this out there. Star Wars is not now, nor will it ever be, Oscar-worthy movie, TV show, whatever. Okay?
No.
Emmy, sure. Golden Globe, sure. However, slim. Very, very slim.
Well, and with all their pre-qualifiers now, their new wokeness pre-qualifiers for anything, it's never going to happen.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. Star Wars is actually embracing that whole criteria, which is what people are up in arms about as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are at the point in this world where we as Star Wars fans are divided for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good
And everything in between.
the good comes down to the people who are true Star Wars fans, who know canon, know legend, and are excited that there's a new TV show.
Mm-hmm.
This TV show, holy shit, has completely taken a turn with one episode.
Oh yeah, it's gone against everything Star Wars you ever thought about Star Wars, really.
Yes, which has basically said to you, "Fuck you. Anyone can die." Especially with the whole opening scene of the Jedis and the Padawans fighting this mysterious figure from the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a slaughter.
Well, and one of the, we start out, and it's her laying on the ground because Osha just got flicked to the side. She's laying on the ground. She wakes
she
up.
got flicked like a fly off your shoulder.
Well, he just went, and she went.
She went, wee!
But
She
then, she
pulled a
comes
Peter Pan
running
and
to
Wendy.
try to see what's going on. She trips, falls, and she looks to the side, and what does she see? A dead Jedi.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they took all of that and crumpled it up into a little ball and said, see ya. Within the first 30 seconds of the episode.
Now, this is...
Real quick, want to say hi to Bunky. Joined us in the chat room. Good to see you, buddy.
Okay. What's up, man? What's up, dude? Now, as I said, this is the turning point. Now, again, we have the divided fans that just don't like it, and they are not even watching it. And we also have the toxic fans who are watching it and bashing it left and right. It's your opinion. You're allowed to. You're allowed to.
Oh, Jesus.
Not going to tell you no. Because, again, your opinion is your opinion. But those are the toxic fans. And as many people say, there's the door. Go ahead and walk out. You don't need to watch it.
Don't let it hit you where the good Lord splits you.
Right.
Or whatever deity you may.
But this entire episode was action-packed. And it proved that even 100 and something years before the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire, everyone is expendable.
Everyone and anyone.
Yes. Now, I will say it is cool to see some yellow lightsabers. We don't see many of those. It is cool that we saw some green and blue as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't recall ever seeing yellow until now.
So there were actually yellow lightsabers in the prequels. In Attack of the Clones and in Revenge of the Sith, there were yellow lightsabers. So yellow, green,
never
blue.
Stuck out as much.
Yeah, they don't stick out as much, but they're there. Okay. And it wasn't until the Clone War TV show that we saw different types of kyber crystals that gave the lightsaber its hue, as well as the possibility of the Jedi like being in tune with those kyber crystals.
Right.
Okay.
That's something that you're going to have to explain to me in this episode, but we'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Now, we fast forward to the slaughter. Oh boy. Everybody is fighting this new master of the Jedi arts, including, but not limited to, Yord Fandar, which we know is the super sexy buff one that had no shirt on earlier in the beginning of the episodes. One who just became a Jedi Knight.
The one who was Osha's good friend, and they went through Jedi training together.
Yes. But we see the master striking down Ithyapan, which is one of the other Jedis. And it's not good. Not good. Had to mute myself real quick. Sorry. But we're seeing Jedi fall to the ground like, whoa. Oh, wrong button. I hit the wrong button. There we go.
What was crazy is, like in the movie Star Wars, right?
Yep.
When Darth and Obi-Wan are fighting and Darth kills Obi-Wan, all you saw was the lightsaber come across. You didn't see contact.
He disappeared.
And, Obi disappeared and the cloak fell down and all that. This one, they got graphic.
Yes.
I mean, they showed 3, 4, 5 times at least. They showed lightsaber going through somebody's chest.
Yes, which they did show in Phantom Menace.
And pulled back out.
Yes.
I mean, I was like... I said that a lot during this episode.
Yeah. Which we've seen that before. But we did see that before in Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Osha is trying to find and help everybody, and she decides, okay, I'm going to try and stun the master. That doesn't work. It bounces right off his helmet.
Right. I don't think I even noticed it.
And Thandar, who is fighting the master at the same time, says, run. Get out of here. Run. Okay?
Right.
Inside Kelnaka's shelter, May goes for Kelnaka's lightsaber because she's like, bitch, I'm going down fighting. Going down fighting.
Don't blame her.
Why not? Might as well. Well, as Osha's running through the forest, the master decides, I'm going to go after her. And he throws his lightsaber at her. And boy, did that thing fly.
That was wild.
And it spun, and it cut some trees down, it cut some plants. But lo and behold, Master Soul shows up and deflects the red lightsaber with his own blue one.
Yes.
Blue.
Yes. Real quick, want to say hi to our good friend from across the northern border, Miss Carol.
Hi, Carol. We love you, Carol.
I do.
Which, deflecting the lightsaber, that now deflects and cuts down a few trees that are nearby. And Osha and Soul finally meet up with Fandar. And Soul tells her, you are civilian, get out of here, get back to the ship.
Civilians to the ship.
Civilians to the ship, indeed. to the
And
ship.
he wasn't, hey, do me a favor, go back to the ship, please. He's like,
Nope.
go.
Get out of here. We will
Which-
handle this.
Yeah, that's their thing is they're there to protect
Yes.
civilians.
Yes. Soul decides, I'm going to stay and fight. Stay and fight. And he's doing what he needs to do. He's the Jedi Master in charge. He's sending Fandar, Osha back to the ship, and they meet up with Basil. If you don't remember Basil, he was their tracker. And Osha tells Fandar, no, we need to go back. We need to go back. To hell with the orders that Soul gave us. We need to go back. And
I liked his reply here.
oh yeah?
Yeah, I liked his reply. He's like, look, Soul gave an order. Don't make me subdue you.
Yeah.
I will subdue you if I have to, I think is
and she's like,
how he said it.
come and get me.
Well, when he said that, she's like, okay.
Okay.
Ran a little bit further.
Now, the Master, however, addresses Soul. And Soul says to him, well, who are you? What kind of master hides his identity from their apprentice?
Right.
And Soul says, something's not right. Something's not right. Well, the Master, surprised, says to Soul, you don't recognize me? You don't know who I am? Because you should.
Take off your helmet.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see who you are.
And it was an interesting reply
Yes,
to that.
it was called attacking with lightsabers.
Well, he says, why? So you can read my mind?
Yeah. Which means that helmet protects him.
Mm-hmm.
Some way, shape, or form, that helmet protects him.
So is that kind of like the thing with, and I hate to cross over into Marvel here, but, what the hell is his name? The guy that bends metal.
Magneto?
Magneto. Is that like the helmet that Magneto wore so that Charles couldn't get inside his head?
Very similar.
Okay. Kind of thought so.
Very, very similar. Now, as they are fighting, the two engage in a lightsaber battle, and then they take a little bit of a break from fighting, and Soul says that the Master carries a Jedi weapon, but is no Jedi. Which is very true. We know he's not a Jedi. Red. I think just about every Sith that has been in canon and legend has always had a red lightsaber.
Didn't this mysterious master say something along the lines of, you could call me Sith
Later.
or something?
We're not
like
there
that?
yet.
Okay. Sorry.
We're not there yet. You're jumping ahead, my friend.
Sorry.
And that's okay. It's all right. I'll forgive you this time. But we cut to May exiting Kelnaka's hut, and Jackie Lawn attacks her. And they go, let's do this.
You did a great fight scene here, too.
Battle of the Young Ones. That's for sure. Because as Lon is using the Force, Lon hurls May through Kelnaka's hut again. And they're fighting. They're fighting. They're just kicking the shit out of each other.
Yep.
Lon's attempting to arrest her by putting the magnetic binders on, and it's just, fight after fight after fight. And while she's talking and trying to fight and arrest her, She says, "You're under arrest for the murders of Master Indara, Torben, and Kilnaka, and her own family." So she's arresting her not only for the deaths of the Master Jedi, but her own family and coven that she set the fire for in episode, what was that, 3? Episode 2, episode 3?
3, I think.
3.
What a twist.
So they continue the fight, and they're doing what they need to do, and they engage in a second round of fighting. And that's when May throws her daggers, and Lon dodges them and deflects them and does whatever she needs to do. But at the same time, the Master and Soul are fighting outside, and they take a little bit of a breather. You can see there's a lot of dirt and everything on Soul's face. He's getting a little winded, but
looking like a coal miner coming out of the mines.
Yeah, but so is the Master. He's getting winded too.
You can see heavy breathing.
And that's when Soul gets back into the training of May, and he says, "I demand that you, as my adversary, reveal your face. Who are you?" And like you said, he's like, no, I don't want you to read my thoughts. Just keep talking. Just keep asking me. And then that's when he goes, "Well, why would a master hide from his pupil?" And the Master throws back the question before resuming the fight. "Why would you?" I mean, logically speaking, yeah. Why would you hide things from your pupil? The Master and an apprentice, you're supposed to teach that apprentice everything, including who you are and your deep, dark secrets if need be. Okay?
And we need to remember that point.
Yeah. You need to remember that right there. Okay?
Something tells me it's going to come up again here in the next 3 episodes.
Eventually. I'm going to say it's going to happen next and in the next episode, to be honest.
Yeah. That's my thinking too.
So, Lon and May are still fighting in the forest now, and Osha wants to help Lon, but Fandor insists on following Soul's orders. Soul loses the Master and is looking around. Osha says to Fandor, "Well, what about this mysterious person? You know, he's around. He's doing things, and it's a possibility that, oh, by the way, everybody could die. Because why not?" And right. Even Fandor's like, "I don't know who this person is."
It was neat what he said about him too.
Which
because
part?
Like, he doesn't follow the rules of combat.
Yep.
And there's no methodology to his movement and the way he fights.
He's very chaotic.
Yeah.
Very chaotic. But he also says that the Master is capable of telepathy. Which is interesting.
Flashback.
Was it there wasn't a flashback there.
No, I'm saying,
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could potentially have a flashback for that one. Absolutely.
Right.
But
she talks about that, how her mother got into a Jedi's head.
Yes.
When she hit the one guy and his eyes turned black.
Yep. Was Torben, right?
Torben, yeah.
Yeah, Torben.
Yep.
And he was just a Padawan then. So the fact that they brought that up, Fandor's like, all right, well, I'll lead the way because apparently we lost Basil again. He's gone.
Yeah.
Great.
Damn it.
Great.
Lost him again. Bastard.
At the same time, Lon and May are fighting again. They're doing what they need to do. And this time, though, May traps Lon and goes to stab her in the neck with her daggers. Now, again, folks, like I said, this episode was definitely the turning point for the series because there was a lot going on.
They went
lot.
At it.
Well, Lon breaks free, pins down May, and retrieves Kilnaka's lightsaber. Then she senses movement, gets off to defend the attack on the Master. So now she's fighting the Master.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like a one-way fight here.
Yeah, one-sided fight.
Very, very one-sided. Because good.
To give Lon credit, she does pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, considering she's a Padawan in training and this person is a master.
Yeah. Well,
she still does pretty good against him.
The same time, he looks at May while they're fighting and says, "You can learn a lot from Lon. She's a loyal pupil." Huh.
Yep.
Very interesting that he said that.
Red flag? Red flag?
Well, not even a red flag. It's just the fact that...
Well, that's what you were calling him last week when you were making your point about your theory.
There were a lot of red flags with him, and that's besides the point. You know?
Right.
The main thing with this is, you know, the only reason he's attacking them is still hidden, but you can kind of tell that he doesn't want them alive because they've seen him.
Right.
Which goes into the canon for the Sith of being in hiding still. Which we know is canon. The Sith have been in hiding for millennia. Yeah, that's right. I said it that way. Millennia. Millennia.
Decades and decades and centuries too.
Yeah. Just saying.
That's for us redneck kind of people who don't know what millennia means.
Yeah. Well, the two start fighting again. And Lon's lightsaber short circuits. Mostly because of the damage that he caused. He hit it or something, I think, if I remember correctly. But it's short circuit, so she can't get it to start. So now she's fighting.
That's my question. How is he short circuiting these? Because he did it to two other ones too.
Oh, because they hit it. They hit the hilt. They hit the hilts together. So you got to remember, this is 100 years before the rise of the Empire. Right. So the lightsabers are good, but they're not the greatest. If you think about it, you know, they don't protect it the way they should.
Technology hasn't come that far yet.
Right.
Okay. Makes
sense. Now they're fighting with knives. Lon's using knives to attack the Master, which is great. And then she fixes her lightsaber and manages to draw a second lightsaber from her holster because she had Kilnaka's on her.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's fighting with two lightsabers.
This was a really neat little exchange without words.
Yes.
Between Lon and the Master when this happened.
Yes.
She gets her other one going. And they kind of engage a little bit, and they're in a stalemate kind of position. She takes the other one out and turns it on. And even with the mask on, you could feel, I won't say see, but you could feel the surprise that came across this Dark Master's face.
Just the way he tilted his head.
Yeah, because he's like, huh? And the little... And I have to put it, the little shit-eating grin that was on Lon's face.
Yep.
You know, because she's like, yeah, I got you now, you sorry bastard.
Yeah. Well, but that's when the master takes out Kilnaka's lightsaber and destroys it.
Yep.
But he also flees to go after May, who is now still handcuffed, to get out and do what she needs to do. Osha and Fandar, on the other hand, they're now in the forest where, if you remember the Umbra moths, those big nasty things that are attracted to light.
The one that's all split in half.
Yeah.
Which was still really cool. That was still one of the coolest things.
He did Ninja Jedi skill. Well, Osha tells Fandar to turn off the lightsaber to not attract them.
Right.
He's like, I don't think I should. But he does anyway, because he was right underneath the Umbra moth.
You could hear them flittering.
Oh, they were
flittering around in the trees.
They were flittering and fluttering and flying.
Very, very loudly.
Yeah. Very, very loudly. Well, they start walking through the forest very quietly and slowly. And the master catches up to May and condemns her for betraying him. How dare you? How dare you think you can turn this all around and betray me the way you did? Now, let's just dive into this a little bit. 95% of the time.
Okay.
In order for a Sith apprentice to become a master, they either A, have to take on an apprentice in secret, or B, kill their master.
I did not know that.
It's just how it's done. Wasn't always that way. Always two there are, a master and an apprentice. But eventually, power is sought. Power is sought by individuals. And in the Sith religion, so to speak, the only way to become more powerful is to take out your master.
Right.
That's how it works. It's just how it works. So while he's condemning May, May is like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean you. I'm crying. Cuts the binders and frees her. But he also says, you're weak. You're weak. Didn't say she was a weak-minded fool, just that she was weak. May runs because Lon and Sol caught up, and the two engage in a lightsaber duel. So now it's 2-on-1 and they're fighting. Okay. That's when Osha hears May's voice echoing through the Force. She's like, we got to go back. We got to go back. We got to help him. We got to save them. He's going to kill them all. We need to do it. And I have an idea. Very good idea, if I might add. Because as Sol and the Master are fighting, same with Lon, Fandar and Osha run back to Kilnaka's hut. At least in that direction, anyway, because that's where the fighting's coming from. She gets to the point where Lon interrupts the fight and manages to unmask the Master. But he separates his lightsaber into two, turns it on, and stabs the living shit out of her. 3 times, to be exact. I can't hear you, JT.
That's like a double tap plus one, you know?
Yes.
2 to the chest, 1 to the head is the saying.
And all you see is just the lightsaber in and out multiple times.
Yep.
And as she's looking at the master, Soul shouts in horror as he sees a Padawan being killed and falling to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But we now see the unmasked stranger. However, Soul is also distraught by the death of his Padawan because it was his Padawan.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
May is nearby as well. But the stranger hurls his cloak at Soul and uses the Force to levitate May towards her. He holds her in a chokehold and says, "You do not realize that the stranger and the master are the same person." Huh. Interesting.
Oh, quit gloating.
Interesting.
Quit gloating.
I could have sworn that I specifically said a certain person was in fact a Sith Lord. Did I or did I not? It is recorded, so you can't tell me no.
Are you done gloating?
Not yet. The red flags were all there.
Yep.
I saw it coming a mile away that Kamir is the stranger who is also the master.
And I give you credit. You came up with a very, very good theory.
And it worked.
And it one of the few times one of your theories has actually come true.
Yes.
But you're still on the negative end on that.
No, I'm not. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. How? How am I on the negative end?
Between all the Marvel shows that we've done and all the Star Wars shows that we've done and as many theories as you have thrown out. Now, you're not as far on the negative end of that as I am.
I was about to say, I'm pretty good at guessing some of this stuff.
I'll never make it into the positive on that unless you start counting, music stuff.
Okay, I can see that.
But you're still in the negative.
I can see that.
So, but it was good. It was, and like I said last week, as you were explaining your theory and pointing out each thing as you went along, I says, by the end of it, I'm like, it's a damn good theory.
Now, at the same time,
it tracks. So.
At the same time, with that theory,
Mm-hmm.
last Wednesday you asked me if I had watched it yet, and I was just finishing it as you guys were just starting. I think, right?
No, we were already done.
You were already done when we were going back and forth.
Yes.
And what did I say to you? You'll see.
And I had already seen.
and you were so hesitant to even say anything because at one point in time I had a feeling during our private conversation you were going to be like, son of a bitch, I can't believe he was right again.
When I'm going to give you that privilege of me doing that, I will do it live.
It's true.
Not on Memorex. I will do it live because I am a man that way. Plus, I'm used to being wrong. So,
So-
kudos on following all the, catching all the little things.
Thank
Because
you.
most of the stuff that you were talking about, I never caught.
Thank you.
But you
here
are
all week.
so used to looking for and catching those little things.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm still like,
I look for the small things.
Yeah, you look for those little clues where, I'm still just the redneck,
Yeah. But at this point in time, this was an incredible exchange and conversation between Soul and Kamir.
Yeah.
This was by far, I want to say, like, probably the best dialogue written for the series so far.
Definitely towards the top.
For a couple of reasons. One, the dialogue's been meh. We know the dialogue's been meh. But the acting hasn't been bad. The acting's been very good.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show that even though they do teach Jedi about the Sith, they don't really touch up on it at the Jedi Temple. Because as the two are talking, Kamir says that he has no name. So he's the stranger now.
Mm-hmm.
But he also says, but the Jedi might call me Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Soul says, well, why are you risking discovery? What's your motive? Why are you doing this? Why are you risking the fact that now the Jedi are going to come after you? And the stranger goes, well, I was wearing a mask. You can't argue with that. He was wearing a mask. But then he says, Soul says to him, what do you want? And this was the greatest reply ever from a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. And an honest one.
Yeah, very honest.
You look at what his answer here is, and you look at similar situations in other movies, not even outside of Star Wars.
Yeah.
The answers you normally get are beat around the bush kind of answers. They give you an idea, but they don't really tell you exactly what it is they want. When he answers this question, there's no doubt
he meant it. Oh, yeah, he meant it. And all he said was, my freedom. Of course, he also kicked May at the same time. But but he wants the freedom to wield his power without having to answer to the Jedi. And then he says, I want to train an acolyte. I want the freedom to do this without any problems.
Without any interference.
Then he says, well, since this one went back on my deal, referring to May, he vows to kill everyone, including May. And then he says that the Jedi make the rules, and the Jedi say that Sith like him cannot exist. I will kill everyone who has seen my face.
And an ugly mug it is.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Or Kamir.
Just in my opinion.
Or Kamir, you know. I mean, he's only got a little bit of a mustache and all that good stuff, but, that's not a bad thing.
Right.
But before he can finish with Sol and May, Fandar ambushes him. And when he does that, Osha's there as well. Fandar recognizes who the stranger is. And taking advantage of the shock, stranger gets the upper hand and kills him. Breaks his neck in hand-to-hand combat. No Jedi weapon, nothing. Brutal.
Yeah, watching a Padawan getting stabbed 3 times in the chest, or other Jedi's getting, emaciated through the chest.
Cut in half. There was one that got cut in half.
That's rough enough. Yeah, cut in half. That's rough enough.
Yeah.
But to sit there and watch somebody have their neck snapped.
Yeah.
Like it's a freaking twig.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little bit traumatizing.
A little bit.
Especially to those that might be there.
A little bit. Yep, a little bit. Well, from there, Sol is now pissed. So he attempts to fight the stranger in hand-to-hand combat. And, they're evenly matched. So a master and a master are pretty good in hand-to-hand combat. But Sol gets the upper hand, goes to kill him. But Osha interrupts. And the stranger, uses it to his advantage. Uses it to his advantage. And the best part is, Osha is being used as, hey, thanks for, doing this. I had doubts about your former master. And Sol goes, no, hold on, stop that. You've embraced the dark side.
Right.
But then he goes, and what have you done with your darkness?
Mm-hmm.
Ho, ho, ho! The tides have turned. The tides have turned. Sol turns off his lightsaber. And Pip senses movement in the trees, tells Osha about it. And Osha calls out to Sol. But the Jedi Master says that the Jedi do not attack the unarmed. Makes sense. They don't. They don't attack the unarmed. But the stranger...
What if they have a weapon, but their back is turned?
Yeah, but the stranger's like, yes, the legalism of the Jedi. How dare you? Because I will attack you unarmed without any problems.
Right.
But then Osha takes Pip out and says that she loves him and sticks it to the stranger's back.
He ripped his head off. She ripped Pip's head off.
Just separated him. She didn't rip it off. She just pulled it off. That's all.
She ripped it off.
I mean, it's just his head. He's a droid. It can be fixed and replaced.
But still, I was like, Pip!
But turns the light on Pip and attaches it to the stranger, and all these Umber moths come flying.
He does pretty good for a couple of seconds against this attack.
He does. He cuts down a few of them, but they carry him away into the forest, and that was brutal enough. We're thinking, oh, he's Umbra Moth food. Yay. But It's only episode 5, so we know he's going to live.
Mm-hmm.
We know this. You can't kill the bad guy right away. Yep. You know? Now
the fact that they carried him away and you didn't see him die in that scene.
Yes. If you don't see them die on camera, they ain't dead.
Yeah, I looked at Kay. I said, "He's not dead yet."
Which
He's like, "What? He's not dead."
the statement that I just made is both true and false. And the only reason why I say that is because we saw a lot of Jedi that were killed off screen, but their bodies were separated and decapitated and all over the place off camera. So we know they're dead. Can't make this up. Okay. But since the two are alone, Osha and Sol, she says, why can't I trust you?
Yeah.
What did you do?
What do you mean by that? Yeah.
What did you do?
And Sol says something for the second time
Yeah.
in his answer.
Which is?
We'll talk about it when we get on the ship.
Yeah. I promise to tell you everything.
Yeah.
Well.
We got to get to the ship and get out of there before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well.
Just trying to kill you, you know.
As dawn is approaching in the jungle and the mountains. So this was an all-night battle, by the way. An all-night battle. And Osha actually confronts May. And Osha says to May, what did you do? What happened? Why did you do what you did? Talk to me. And she responds that she did what she had to for Osha and their family. I'm a little confused on that. I don't know how burning down your entire village and killing your entire coven is best for both May and Osha. Hopefully that'll get explained.
Right.
But Osha said, no, what you did was selfish. You're the one who killed everybody. You're the one who took the lives. You're the one who started the fire. This is your doing. Your fault.
Everyone that died tonight, your fault.
Yes, everyone that died tonight. But May countered with, you know what? They got what they deserved.
Yeah.
That was harsh. That was very harsh.
Well, you think about it, though. If you look back to episode 1, it's the same attitudes.
Yeah.
The same attitudes.
Yeah.
In each girl. Just enhanced and grown, you know, over the years.
Crazy.
So character consistency is definitely there.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, Osha and May have had this sibling rivalry going on to begin with. And with all of it, Osha even said that the Jedi were more like family than she ever was. Because let's face it, she was a bitch when she was younger. She really was. She was a bitch, Osha. Okay.
And still is.
More on the dark side of things. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But May says, well, wait a minute. Have you forgotten our roots as witches? The Jedi invaded our home. And that's when Osha's like, no.
He saved my life.
He saved my life. You started the fire. You would, and I would have been dead if it wasn't for the Jedi. They saved me because of your actions. And that's when she said that the Jedi were brainwashing her. They were using their mind powers of the Force to make her think and twist her mind away from her sister.
Just like she accused them of doing back when they were tested.
Yes. And at the same time, she's like, no, I didn't. No, they didn't. This is what I wanted. And they start, the waterworks start coming on May's face. They survived. They had each other. But May's like, don't go with the Jedi. Pick me. Pick me. I'm your sister. Pick me. Don't pick the Jedi. And
Then
that's when she's like,
took a turn.
That's when she's like, well, I'm here to arrest you. Sorry.
She slams her down on the ground.
You done screwed up. You done screwed up. And that's when...
And accused her of following a false master.
Well, yes. Oh, yeah. Hands down.
I mean, that's a key line in that exchange.
Yeah. Well, May uses the Force to knock Osha to the ground and basically knocks her out. And this is when...
Go ahead.
We see the brains start to work a little bit more because she's like, well, fine. If that's the way you want to do it, I'm going to switch our clothes and become you so I can get closer.
And she made a very interesting statement before she did that, right after she hit her with the Force and knocked her out.
Mm-hmm.
Think back to episode 2, I think it was, when they were doing the Ascension. Or the classes before the Ascension, and Mom attacked them.
Yes.
What happened in that scene? Osha ducked behind May, and May blocked.
Yes.
When she knocks Osha out,
you
never could block.
Yep, you never could block.
You never could block.
Absolutely.
Talk about driving it back home.
Absolutely. That was a good kick in the nuts right there.
That's definitely kicking somebody when they're down.
So now she's imitating Osha and heading back. And at this point in time, we can see that the stranger breaks free of the Umbra Moths and Pip, and he walks into the forest. Basil, scurrying past, picks up Pip and starts sniffing around.
And freaking Basil.
Hey.
Basil, whatever it is.
Listen, it's better to have him,
Right?
Well, while there, May is impersonating Osha. She's tending to Soul, and Soul asks where May is, and she says, well, May fled. I can help. I can help you onto the ship. I can do it. So they go back to the ship.
She's not doing a very good job of impersonating Osha.
She's really not. She's really not. To be honest,
yeah.
I think Soul knows.
Think so?
Yes, for 2 reasons. One, she did cut her hair to match Osha's.
Right.
That's number 1. Number 2, her hair is still down in front of her face. She still has that tattoo on her head.
True.
That marking, so to speak.
And he did kind of stare at her when she said that before he grabbed her hand.
Yes.
So, I was wondering if he noticed or not.
Yes.
If not, he's truly clueless.
So while that's happening, though, Basil is still... See, now you got me saying Basil. Basil is still tracking May because he knows that Pip doesn't smell like her. May is staring out at the jungle one last time before they get on board.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just following, going... He's confused.
Yeah, because he's sniffing Pip, and then he's sniffing the air, and he sniffs Pip again. He's like, wait a minute, something's not...
Now,
this is not who I originally associate this item with the smell.
Right. Now, with the stranger still in the forest, he goes back and gets his helmet and cloak. Walks past the fallen Jedi that are, sprawled out all over the place. And then sees
There's
Osha.
like 9 of them.
And then sees Osha. And he says that even in the revelation of their triumph, one can see the depth of their despair. Then he wraps his cloak around her, and that's it. The episode's over. I think he knows that's Osha. That's just me.
He would be able to immediately sense it.
Yes, absolutely. Because even though they're twins,
They're still different.
they're different. Hands down.
Yep.
Hands down. So,
See, what I'm trying to figure out is what is Osha's, or not Osha, what is May's goal other than to get off the planet alive to impersonating Osha and going on the ship?
to kill Soul.
Well, but is it? Because
Yeah.
she already said that she wasn't going to do that anymore,
True.
which is why
Well, she said
Master
that.
wants to kill her.
Well, she said that she didn't want to do it for the Master. She still wanted the Jedi to pay for what they did.
True. I was just wondering if maybe it had gone from a, I need to kill Saul to a, hey, maybe I can kill somebody higher up kind of thing.
Yeah. But
Very interesting episode any way you look at it, though.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So this was episode 5. So it's my turn to rate it first, right?
Yes, sir.
So this week's episode, I am rating at 4.25 lightsabers.
Okay.
Complete 360 of what was happening. Complete 360.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it probably would have been a 4.5 if I didn't call who the Sith Lord was. But I called that in the previous episode. So, yeah. Almost. But otherwise, it was very, very well done. The fight scenes were amazing. Not just the hand-to-hand combat, but the lightsaber duels were amazing. The stunts, fantastic. The scenery, off the charts. Even to the tiniest little detail of a leaf getting burned. And you can see it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
4.25 lightsabers is what I'm giving this week's episode.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to put it very simple.
Uh-huh.
The best episode of the series so far. And it's going to take a lot to unseat it.
Okay.
Some of the best fight scenes we've seen in Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
Better than some of the fight scenes that we've seen in Marvel shows.
Oh,
without
okay.
a doubt. Storyline was great. I loved. Most people think when there's a fight, it's all you think about is the fight, and you're just fighting and fighting and fighting.
Right.
I love the interactions in between, and those were all strategically done by the individuals that started them because they needed a break.
Right.
I'm winded. I need a break, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of got me, it kind of threw me off a little bit, was the end.
Oh.
The ending where you had the switch happen.
Yep.
Where you had May, start the impersonation of Osha.
Kind of called
And
that
all that.
as well.
Yeah, wasn't really that crazy about that. Carol, hang around for a minute because there's something that Sully needs to tell you that will be in reply to what you just said. Overall, I'm gonna have to be right with you. 4.25.
Ooh.
Mine was 4.5, but it dropped there at the end. That the switcheroo just didn't do it for me. Just didn't do it for me. So 4.25 for me tonight as well.
Nice.
It's still best episode by far of the entire show.
So far, so good. That's for sure. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. That, my friends, is the end of 2 Ewoks in the Park for this week. We will be back next week for episode 6 of The Acolyte. And we will not be live tomorrow for the Sully Show, because I am actually taking the little one to a free concert at a park near us, where it's a Billy Joel cover band that will be playing. So we will be moving the show to Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So for those that think they're going to miss tomorrow, please keep a lookout. Discord. I will be posting it on Facebook as well, that we will be moving the show to Wednesday night so we can go and enjoy some family time and enjoy the concert, which is going to be amazing. So, those are the rules right now. And it also gives Lady Death a little bit more time to find, I think, 2 more articles that she wants to put on the prep sheet, which, she already told me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm postponing the show to Wednesday, so you got plenty of time. Plenty of time. So, therefore, enjoy the night off. We will see you on Wednesday for the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
See you Wednesday, Carol.
Yeah. So, for JT the Redneck, there he is. Can't miss him. He looks all purty and stuff with his teeth. Well, not really teeth, but, they're there. Kinda.
They're just in a box in my bathroom.
Yeah, he doesn't use them during the show. It's okay. And, of course, I am the geek, the Sully. We will see you all next week for 2 Ewoks in the Park, episode 6 of The Acolyte. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. And, of course, may the Force be with you.